Hello, sisters. Jumping right into the news, yet another massive California hospital system has announced it will no longer provide puberty blockers and cross-sex hormones to minors experiencing gender confusion. Headquartered in Sacramento, Sutter Health operates 25 acute care hospitals and over 200 clinics in Northern and Central California. Next, I'll share some big news out of Colorado. In a move that reshapes how school athletics operate across the state, School District 49 and 7 partner districts have secured a landmark settlement with the Colorado High School Activities Association. The settlement gives the 8 districts enforceable protections, clarifying their authority to classify sports teams and intimate facilities according to sex as opposed to gender identity, and removes CHSAA from the center of Colorado's most charged debate over fairness, privacy, and Title IX. Unfortunately, as Aaron for Parental Rights notes on X, the case is still moving through federal court. CHSAA did the right thing, but unsurprisingly, the Colorado Civil Rights Commission and the Attorney General did not. So litigation continues. Our Protect Kids Colorado ballot measure continues. The fight continues, and we will win. In less encouraging news, Redux reports that after the ACLU successfully secured the transfer of male killers and sex offenders to Logan Correctional Center, a women's facility in Illinois, the organization is now seeking a court order prohibiting those men from being transferred to Menard Correctional, the state's largest maximum security male facility, and demanding that an additional group of men in Menard be offered a transfer to Logan. The class action lawsuit refers to at least 11 men whose names have been redacted in court documents. Additionally, the outlet reports that a man claiming to be a woman who strangled his own mother before raping her corpse was moved to a women's prison in Illinois after complaining of feeling unsafe in men's prison. Initially transferred from a men's facility to Logan in 2021, John Hannah Finnegan is currently housed at Decatur, a women's prison with a mother-baby unit. On December 3rd, Jennifer Say wrote about a new lawsuit filed by 2 female gymnasts alleging that USA Gymnastics and the U.S. Center for Safe Sport failed to protect them from sexual assault. The athletes claim to have been sexually abused by Coach Sean Gardner while he was employed at Chow's Gymnastics, an elite training center in Iowa, and that prior allegations of inappropriate and abusive behaviors dating back to 2017, when Gardner coached at a gym in Mississippi, were ignored by the oversight bodies that supposedly exist to protect them. Recently, the Democratic Women's Caucus, whose members include all 95 Democratic Congresswomen in the House of Representatives, plus Sarah McBride, a man pretending to be a woman, issued a call for women to share their story, stating that they'd love to hear from you on issues you care about and how your life is impacted by the decisions made in Washington. In a post published last week in the LGB Courage Coalition Substack, Bev Talbot shared her response to the survey, which paragraph by paragraph explicitly details how the caucus has betrayed women, the core constituency it purports to serve. It's an impactful read, and concludes by asking the DWC to set a date to meet with coalition members, suggesting sometime in mid-January when they plan to be in D.C. for the Supreme Court's oral arguments in 2 important sports cases. On December 14th, members of San Francisco-based activist group Women Are Real will be speaking at an event titled Let's Talk, Women's Sports and the Upcoming Supreme Court Cases, to be held at the Rohnert Park Library. Sponsored by Freer Speech, the event is billed as an opportunity for a respectful and intellectually engaging dialogue that includes hearing from both sides of the issue with the goal of fostering understanding, honest inquiry, and healthy civic engagement. As the promotional graphic accurately states, these cases will shape national precedent on sex-based sports categories and determine whether state laws protecting female athletics violate Title IX or the Equal Protection Clause. Outcomes will directly impact students, parents, coaches, schools, and communities across all 50 states. Those able to join Women Are Real in Rohnert Park, a community about 50 miles north of San Francisco, for this free and open to the public event are encouraged to do so. On December 2nd, attorney Glenda Goldis drew attention to another recent legal win that protects the safety, privacy, and dignity of public school students. America First Legal brought the suit against Fairfax County Public Schools in Virginia on behalf of a female student who was told that if she was uncomfortable sharing the girls' bathroom with a boy, that she should leave and use an alternative facility. After repeatedly failing to get the case thrown out of court, the school board has now conceded, offering judgment, awarding damages, costs, and attorney fees to resolve her free speech, free exercise, equal protection, due process, and Title IX claims. Oral arguments were recently heard by the First Circuit Court of Appeals in the free speech case brought by New Hampshire resident Beth Scare against the city of Nashua. Starting in 2017, the city allowed anyone to fly flags with political and other messages on the citizen flagpole located outside City Hall. But when Beth flew a Save Women's Sports flag in 2020, the city took it down the next day. She then sued for a violation of the First Amendment, but a lower court sided with the city and denied a preliminary injunction. At issue in the case is whether a city that allows residents to express their views outside City Hall can pick and choose which ideas get expressed. In its weekly news roundup, published on December 5th, the LGB Courage Coalition did a deep dive headlined, Medical Reality Clashes with Identity Ideology in a New York Cancer Ward. The post focuses on a recent New York Times feature on Jennifer Capasso, a man who claims to be a woman and has metastatic rectal cancer. While undergoing surgery at Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center, Capasso secretly recorded audio and later sued the hospital after hearing staff question whether his chart should list him as male or female. According to reporting and court filings, the sex marker on Capasso's records was originally changed to female, but staff began noticing obvious clinical problems, like pregnancy tests being ordered on a male body. The chart was changed back to male, and staff were caught on the recording discussing the need for accurate sex information for cancer risk, drug dosing, and interpreting test results. That conversation is now being characterized as evidence of discrimination in his lawsuit against the hospital. The Times feature is an interesting, if exasperating, read that has pushed an uncomfortable, for some, reality into the open, namely that in medicine, sex matters no matter what hospital paperwork says. And finally, multiple women gave due recognition this week to 15-year-old track and field athlete Anna Lee Wilson and the girls in Washington state who are courageously speaking out about the injustice of being forced to compete and change with boys, despite the risks of doing so. Anna Lee has been vocal on this topic since at least last fall, and at a recent event in Wenatchee, she was joined by at least 20 other girls, all decked out in XXXY athletics gear, as she called out Washington State Superintendent Chris Rakedahl for his endorsement of such policies. I'll read this verbatim. Superintendent Rakedahl, you have said that Washington public schools must provide a safe and non-discriminatory environment for all students so that all students can thrive. Chris Rakedahl, I need you to hear this clearly. We are not thriving with boys in our locker rooms or with boys in our sports. When you say all students, it seems you've forgotten that all includes biological girls as well. As Brandy Cruz says on X, wow. One becomes two and two becomes many. Bravery is contagious. Sign the Let's Go Washington ballot initiatives and show these girls that sane adults have their back. And that's all I have today. Thank you.